Thanks for joining me for this edition of the Church Security Answer Man. I'm so glad you're here. We have got a great guest here to continue our discussion about the less lethal Byrna Launcher and somebody with some experience all around relative to this. So thank you, Pastor, for joining us today, and Pastor Kevin. And we are so glad you're here. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor. Yeah, I've been at my church for about 8 years now. I'm the director of facilities and safety for our campuses, and yeah, man, I learned about this the Byrna launcher not too long ago, and it just seemed like a really good option, for us when we talk about the use of force continuum. Just to have a different layer of force for compliance and stuff like that. Should anything, Lord forbid, anything ever happen. So.
Sure. Yeah. Now, do your folks carry pepper spray or anything like that as well?
No aerosols. I do have a couple of my folks that are certified with the Byrna Launcher, also got certified for pepper rounds. So we do use the Byrna Max rounds. Some of our folks, some have not got the certification yet. Apparently the certification process changed right after we did it. So it used to be just an online course, and you would take basically the first part of the guard card training is what it was, and then you would go through the chemical, dispensing stuff. So we had to go through that.
Can you tell us a little bit about, we don't like to talk about details too much, but can you tell us a little bit about your team? How many folks do you have, and how many? You had told me you've got 4,000 to 5,000 folks attend on a weekend.
Yeah.
So what's your security team kind of look like, or who all's trained for that stuff?
Yeah, I got about 34 guys and gals on my crew right now. I really spent the last year, we're a little low. We have 4 services total kind of throughout the week. And so we were a little low on folks, and I felt things were a little slim once in a while. So we did some pretty hardcore recruiting. The great thing is our areas consist of a lot of law enforcement folks live in our area, and they commute out to go to their jobs. So we got a lot of those folks around. So I've just been kind of identifying people and just say, hey, would you be willing to join our team and serve once a month? I always reel them in with once a month, and then we ask them to do more than that. Yeah, tell them to get extra Jesus points. If you could do more than once a month, you get extra Jesus points. So
there you go. There you go.
Yeah. So we have like 34 people on our team. We do have some that are concealed carry. They are off-duty law enforcement and retired law enforcement. So we do have a group of those folks.
Awesome.
And then I just thought, man, there'd be something better in between. And so when I met Cert, he started showing me what he's got, and I just started kind of falling in love with it, and just going, man, this is a really, really good option. It's just an added tool, you know what I mean? So you don't have to go from one extreme to the next. You have different layers of force you can use. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's nice. So as an administrator, what do you think about the liability of the launcher?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I thought about, like what are the liabilities? And so I actually developed a little process and procedures for this, for the Byrna Launcher, before I even distributed it to any of our team. And I sent it off to our insurance agent. I put it off to my finance guy. He sent it off to the insurance agent. The insurance agent looked at it and he goes, man, I really like this thing. And he actually called Cert, because I said Cert was going to do all of our training. I didn't want the training to come from me. I wanted it to come from someone who had the background and the reputation are already established. And it's not just me on staff going, oh yeah, I trained my guys, but I wanted it to come off site. And so actually our insurance guy called Cert and asked him a bunch of questions, and he came back, he goes, yeah, I really like this. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's great. And you're in Southern California in closer proximity to Cert, so you're able to
correct. Yeah, we're actually in the same valley as Cert. We're just north of Los Angeles. So
nice.
So he lives close, and he just opened up a store that's literally like 2 miles from my house. So it's
nice.
Good to be able to take our crew. I'm going to try to certify about 6 more people on my team to use those, and it's nice because he's just right up the road. So
Yeah. So, what percentage of people, without giving away the farm of your operations, but what percentage of your team carries firearm, and then what percentage carry are you trying to get to cover the Byrna launcher? How many folks do you want to try to get to? What
Yeah,
percentage?
I'd love to have all my folks carrying the Byrna that don't carry concealed. So,
Okay.
about right now, um, I would say I have about a little more than a third of my team is concealed carry, and uh, I have 9 people certified for Byrna, and I'm gonna get a few more. There was actually only I give them the option, of saying, "Hey, is do you just wanna be eyes and ears? Are you I wanna know, are you gonna be the one that's gonna get, in the mix if something happens? Like, are you just gonna be on the radio for us?" I need everybody, right? You need
Yeah.
all those folks. So, we have a pretty large auditorium, so we have a couple folks every service spaced in between the auditorium. We have a couple guys, looking as people come in the parking lot. We have one stationed posted up at our children's ministry area and by our student building. So I try to have 6 people, especially on Sundays because the crowd's so large. I try to,
Hmm.
and then I have a medical team as well. Some of my medical people cross over and do both. So
Nice. What a great setup.
yeah, I'm blessed, man, for sure.
So, what do you think of the quality, all of that kind of stuff? It sounds like you're a big fan of the launcher. So, what do you and which one do you care? Which one do you use? Does your church primarily use the SD or the LE or what version?
Yeah, we have the SD. Yep,
Okay.
yep. So it's 5 round capacity, and again, some of us use pepper rounds, some of us use kinetic rounds. Hopefully, we'll never have to use any of them. They'll just sit in the holsters, and that'll be it. That's my prayer.
Yeah.
But hey, things are getting crazier, right? So the chances of something happening are getting greater and greater. So.
Yeah, for sure. So, how long? I don't think I asked yet. How long have you guys actually been in the program of using the Byrna launchers?
I got the program going literally like 2 months after I took my position. So we've been rolling with the Byrnas for about 10 months now. Yep,
Gotcha.
about 10 months. I really like it. It seems like a very quality tool.
Hmm.
Not cheap. I've looked at a couple other ones, and you gotta kind of smack the bottom to get the CO2 to puncture and all that stuff. And this one is just so contained. To me they are a little bulky, which is kind of a concern. I never have my guys carry open. Everything's always concealed. I want it to be very discreet. I live in California, so people freak out when they see anything. So
Yeah.
they want that protection, but they don't want to see it. So
Right.
so everything's very discreet, and so it is a little bit bulky of a tool. I mean, a regular handgun is smaller. So
Yeah. Yeah, it is fairly bulky, but now do you folks, what's your thoughts? You're carrying the multicolored, or do you carry the one that looks really like a firearm, though just the straight black?
yeah, we have several black ones, and then we have a couple black and tans. Yeah, I'm pro the launcher. I think it's great. It's a great tool. I would definitely have, if someone's planning on doing it, try to have someone offsite, even if it's a firearms instructor. Even have a firearms instructor go through it with your crew, and that way
Okay.
you can get them certified as being able to use and handle a firearm correctly. I know it's not a firearm, but I treat it as one. I have all my
Sure.
guys say, "Hey, listen, like this thing is not a joke. It'll put the hurt on somebody." I mean, if you've
Right.
ever, I see you have one. I'm sure you put a couple rounds through it, and it's
Yeah.
it's not a joke, man. You get those kinetic rounds, and if you've seen some of the videos of people getting hit with them, it'll split your skin. It'll do some damage. You hit someone in the face, man, or even if someone misses and it hits somebody else in the background, I need my guys to know exactly. It's hey, consider the thing like it's loaded. Basic firearm safety is know your background, all that good stuff. And so
Right.
anyone's wanting to do it, I would suggest putting somebody through some sort of firearms training course, even if it's that. I'd treat it like that. So
Sure. And how often do you folks train, if you don't mind me asking, on the Byrna launcher?
yeah, we're going to train annually. We're gonna do
Okay.
once a year. I'm also going to implement a firearms training for my CCW guys, so everyone's going to be up to snuff every year. Make sure that they kind of qualify. I had one person go through the Byrna. They didn't qualify. They couldn't hit the target, so
Oh, okay.
they got kicked out. So, again, I don't need anybody missing and hitting somebody else.
Yeah,
We got a very interesting building. All the walls are all kind of concrete, and so if that thing misses and hits a wall, it can bounce off and hit someone else. And so I
sure.
want to make sure everyone's up to snuff on their usage. So.
Right. Now, do you guys use you go to Cert every time for any research or training? You
Yeah,
go
we
to
sure do.
him.
We
Okay.
sure do. Yep.
All right. That's
Yeah,
great.
so it's about time that my guys are going to get recertified here really soon. So I'm going to be calling Kurt and having him recertify my folks, as well as getting another group of people certified for the first time. So
Right. And for those of you watching, I'll put the Kurt's contact information. Even if you're not in Southern California, close to Kurt, he's a great resource to contact to get information from. I've talked with him at length, and he's got great supply for you. So he at ungun.com, and I'll put that information down in the description for those of you watching here on YouTube. So anything to add, Pastor? We sure appreciate your time and stuff. Is there anything you want to add to what we've discussed? Anything we didn't cover?
no, yeah, I know a lot of people are, I'm sure you've looked at some of the comments and, that's not going to do anything against a firearm, and I totally understand that. I agree with that. I'm a California guy, but I'm pro firearms and pro gun. But the last thing I want to do is I don't want to lay anybody out in church with 4,000 people watching. That's the last thing that we need, right? I
Yeah.
don't know if you can imagine the trauma and everything that would go behind that. If we can, I want to add a layer. If we don't have to go there, man, I don't want to go there. So
Yeah.
I get what guys are saying. I understand those, the ideology behind a lot of those comments, but man, when
Yeah.
you're in the mix and when you're the person that's, holding liable,
Yeah.
we do the right thing.
Yeah, and we get in fact, that's kind of what started when I had the first interview about the Byrna product with Kurt.
Mhm.
I could not believe how many comments I got with people thinking I've got to put my firearm in the car and just carry the launcher. It's like, no, there's a continuum here of
Yeah,
where this product fits in, and then when we could go to the gun kind of thing and the use of force. So,
yeah,
and do you
absolutely.
have anybody that carries both, or do you have it set up to where it's either or for your folks?
Yeah, I don't have anybody that's carried both. It's so much on the belt,
Yeah, yeah.
And again, we're
Definitely keeping it concealed.
yeah, we're keeping it concealed so we don't have guys with vests and stuff hanging off the
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
Yeah,
Our
no,
world's
we
getting
don't.
crazy. We might get there, but
Yeah, we don't do that either. So that's wise. So, well, I sure appreciate your time, Pastor. Thanks for joining us. The information you're giving us is invaluable, being an actual user of the product and an administrator. So I appreciate your time, and thanks for joining us today. And I want to encourage you as the viewer to like and subscribe as always, and take a look at this next video that comes up. It's the next in your journey in learning more about church security. Thank you.